He has been affiliated with Carrier since 2000. Jerry Unruh with Albritton ABC Cooling and Heating was nominated by Russell Sigler. Jerry worked in the heating and air conditioning industry since 1974, and he has 40-plus years of experience as an employee with Carrier and as an HVAC subcontractor, which gave him rich insights that he shared with other dealers and contractors through hundreds of workshops across North America. He helped educate and teach thousands of men and women in more than 75 cities across the United States and Canada. Aside from his many philanthropic endeavors, Jerry also had countless lifetime industry accomplishments. Many of your territory managers were actually trained, attended, and graduated from the acclaimed territory management workshop that Jerry created. He was instrumental in not only developing the curriculum, but also teaching and leading the workshops. Jerry also developed the financial management workshop and trained the facilitators for the Advanced Financial Management Training Program. Jerry was very instrumental in working with Carrier's Business Resource Group and heavily involved with dealer consulting, where Jerry helped to develop a team of financial consultants to assist Carrier dealers with improving their operations and profitability. I could go on and on about Jerry's accomplishments and what he achieved, but let's hear what others had to say.
I met Jerry back about 20 years ago. He actually bought a company called Van Gogh Cooling in Concord, California. Over the years, he ended up purchasing another dealership, ABC Cooling. In 2007, he merged those two organizations together. That is what turned into a multi-million-dollar Carrier factory authorized dealer who won multiple distributor awards from us over the years. And then a few years ago, he divested himself of that and ended up just focusing on the Fresno operation with Albritton and being closer to his family.
We've built this thing up from just a handful of us to where we're over 100 employees, pushing 80 trucks out in the field.
I remember meeting with Jerry and him, finally convincing me to, hey, come on board. We got something good that we're going to start here, and it's been a good thing.
It's been an amazing place to work, and it is because of the leadership of Jerry.
My dad loved his family big.
He always treated my mom like she was the queen of the world.
He definitely was a conservative, strict dad, but very loving. It was a perfect balance.
Kind of a mover and a shaker and a dreamer. Wanted to travel and do family activities or camping.
Taking the kids to the lake, dragging them around on the tubes behind the boat.
Going to his rock crawling events, following his races online, the desert races that he did.
We did a lot of competition rock crawling, and we were always together during that stuff. He loved remote control airplanes.
He was fun. He was really fun. Really fun.
Whether it was in business, in church, or just in life, he operated out of just a high level of integrity and strong faith in the Lord, strong faith in other people.
His faith was a really big part of him.
His life verse says, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of God. And that was what he was about.
He exemplified what it meant to be a Christian businessman, operating with integrity and humility at all times.
He had a passion, I think, not only for his own success, but for others.
He pushed me to think a little bit bigger.
My dad taught me to be a good person, to take care of the people around me.
He's challenged me to be a better technician or manager. He's challenged me in life to be a better person.
His love for work was his love for people.
Building up something for his family to grow with and to see the people grow with it also.
And seeing that and him waking up and coming to work every day because he got to invest in people's lives is what made me excited about doing this and eventually following in his footsteps and being able to run the company.
He helped so many people with their finances, so I don't know if that goes into the area of legacy, but man, he just wanted to help people not carry a burden of debt.
It wasn't just about employing people, but it was also we're paying you well. You need to know how to use that money well so that you have something later on.
And for somebody like me, who's the closest thing I had to a dad after 14 years old?
He believed in people, and he believed in me. And I think I'll miss that a lot.
I think he definitely had a lot of influence on the companies around us because they want to be as good as Albritton.
If you go back to his earlier career, he was one of the speakers for Carrier Corporation and doing the Carrier University speeches. So he would work for Carrier and give speeches and help dealers. He's a big proponent of encouraging others to do it well, encouraging others to do the right thing, having the industry progress forward. He helped Carrier develop the Carrier 360 program several years ago, which really focused on whole home performance.
It's always been about the people, and that's what Jerry was all about.
He's taught me everything that I know that's worth something. I've learned other stuff, but most of it's no good.
When he first got diagnosed with cancer and he was sick and things were just really hard for him, personally it was devastating, but he's probably one of the most positive people that I know.
From day one of that, there was not like a defeated attitude.
I think fortunately for him at that point, Andrea had taken on a much more prevalent role in the company.
What better thing to do than to show our respect for him by continuing on the business in a way he would do it. He had the impact on people that he wanted to have. He would love to be helped, and therefore he'd do it for others. So I think being inducted for him would just mean people saw his heart and his true desire. What he wanted to do in the end was not to win financially. Winning was to help others.
Sadly, Jerry passed away this spring, but his family is here to honor him tonight. But, I was very fortunate to also know Jerry. I joined the company in 1993, was an architect, did know the difference between an air conditioner and a heat pump. And I learned so much from him, and there was never anyone so committed to really making our industry a better industry. He was focused on the contractor, how to make money, how to read a P&L, and how to run a business. And he was a truly, truly inspirational person, and he will be greatly missed. So please welcome Andrea Johnson to the stage to accept Jerry's ring on his finger.
Okay, I'm not gonna get emotional. I can do this. This is such a crazy honor to accept this award on Jerry's behalf, and quite a heavy responsibility. We found out about the induction about 2 weeks after he lost his battle with cancer. Preparing for the speech, I kept thinking, what would Jerry say? What would he highlight as being the most important thing in life to focus on? Who would he give the praise and gratitude to? Although I'm not sure exactly the answer, I'm thinking he'd talk about the fact that he could have been in any sort of business, HVAC, porta potty sales, whatever, you name it. Sorry, Carrier, but it's not always about what you're selling, it's about who you employ. It's about the joy that comes from being able to grow people within our company, promotions, anniversaries, raises, medical benefits, celebrating all the wins of our team, both professionally and personally. I love that Jerry taught me not to say we have 115 employees, but rather we have the privilege of helping to put groceries on the table of 115 families. That's what mattered to him. He taught voluntary classes to our team on finances and getting out of debt. When one of our team went to him to tell him that they'd followed the plan and they got their family out of debt and were now saving, he came to me so excited. And Jerry says, see, this is what it's all about, bettering the lives of our people for years to come. Jerry loved to help. He found it an honor to be able to share his wealth of knowledge on finances and running a successful business with fellow business owners. He would drop whatever he was doing to help anyone who called him for advice. After Jerry's passing, I got many handwritten letters sharing stories of Jerry's selfless attitude of helping and counseling and advising. Stories from decades ago all the way up until just before his passing. Jerry talked about the fact that we have an opportunity to be a funnel, both with our financial wealth and with our knowledge and our life experiences. We can choose to plug that funnel, or we can make sure to keep that funnel free flowing. We can choose, as we have more and more financial success, to be a funnel that can share generously with others, proactively searching for ways to give creatively. We can choose, as we gain more and more life experience, as we gain more and more insight into successful living and business owning, and as we experience more and more failure, which is inevitable, to keep that funnel clear and generously share our knowledge with other businesses, with friends and family, with peers, and with those just starting out in life and business. It's a choice we all have to plug that funnel also, not sharing knowledge, not sharing finances, but know that God may choose to use someone else who's more generous as a funnel rather than you. So just be warned. He always told us that. Jerry loved to work. He told me that he loved the challenge of this trade, trying to creatively get work during the shoulder season, the relationships that were built with suppliers, distributors, our manufacturer, the fact that he could help better our lives, our employees' lives, and also make our customers happy when their homes were more comfortable again. All the relationships Jerry built over the decades with Sigler and Carrier employees were important to him, and he cherished those connections. He was so proud to be part of the trades and always preached to young people the pride that we should have working in the trades. I'm proud to have one of our sons straight out of high school come to work for us as a plumber and see the success he's had and the pride that he has in his career in just less than a couple years. I think Jerry would also highlight the importance of integrity, both in business and in our personal lives. You can be successful in business for a short time without integrity, but not for long. You'll always be found out in the end. And really, what's the point of financial gain if you're doing it at the cost of your customers, or even worse, your employees? What's the point of financial success if you can't honestly look at yourself in the mirror in the morning, or have your kids know how you run a business and still be proud of you? Jerry always described integrity as what you do in the corner of the attic that the customer will never see. And that's what we continue to remind our team often. Someone writes a negative Yelp or Google review about our pricing, bring it. We never promise to be the cheapest. But if someone comments negatively on our integrity, this is a concern for us. Finally, as I think of what Jerry would highlight as important, I know confidently that he would say family. Lucky for me, I'm included in that group he'd highlight. He'd say when all else fails or lets you down in life, you gotta be there for people, and people have to be there for you, and you have to be there for them. Family meant everything to Jerry. He and my mom made much of their financial decisions based on what would bring family together. He was passionate about providing a memorable childhood for us, was passionate about sharing his love for his Savior with us from a young age, and lived that out shamelessly. His best friend was his younger brother, and he invested heavily in his life and loved the time that they spent together. He loved my mom so deeply and intentionally worked to show us kids what a loving marriage should be, how we are to treat our partner, and how we deserve to be treated. Jerry always wanted to be a pilot and fly small planes, but because of inner ear issues and motion sickness, that dream never came to fruition. So instead, he passionately took on the hobby of flying radio-controlled planes, some as large as quarter scale. He competed with these prop planes and then later flew jets. During competitions, there's the pilot, but the pilot also has a spotter who makes sure not to lose sight of the plane as it soars so high, coaching him from behind, giving tips throughout the flight. Jerry wasn't able to be in these planes as they took off, but rather stood on the ground, watching them weave and soar through the sky, giving them direction from afar. I feel that Jerry took that attitude a lot in life, allowing others to be in the spotlight while he sat back and supported us quietly, smiling and watching us fly. Jerry retired in 2020, allowing the rest of us to step up and giving me the opportunity to run the company. He knew that as he sat back, we would take this company and soar to new heights. He had worked his way from pilot to spotter in the years prior to his retirement. Even now that he's been gone from us for a few months, sometimes it's like I can still see him smiling and hear him whisper like a spotter, reminding us of what to watch out for and where to turn next. To wrap this up, we want to thank Carrier and we want to thank Sigler for this wonderful honor that Jerry was given. He would have been so proud and humbled to receive it. I'm sure my dad
I'm sure my dad would like to thank my mom, Rachel, for all the support these years. Oh man, I didn't bring the Kleenex. Saying that he's the luckiest man in the world to have her. And to our team at ABC and Albritton for carrying on his legacy and keeping Albritton a company of integrity and family.